Is this thing on? You guys might know me as Sprout. You know I like to play games, but I also like pretty much everything dealing with technology. I just got my degree recently for computer science with a specialty in artificial intelligence. But one of my hobbies or passions is computers. And by that I mean building them, optimizing them to their fullest potential. And I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to having the best of the best. Not a good thing to do or to have, but it's who I am. And today we actually just got delivery of a very special package, something that I have been waiting for a couple of weeks now. And that would be the formed T1 case. So I have it right here. It comes flat packed. It's very small in comparison to my head. It's about the size of a shoebox. If you don't know, my current computer case is the Ncase M2. The reason why I got that was because I had a 4090 with an i9 processor. I ended up switching over to the new Ryzen 9 9950X3D chip or processor, and I figured out I could finally do an ITX build. I have been such a nerd and have been reading every single post in the Reddit forums for small form factor PCs, and the Ncase M2 was just the perfect fit for what I had at the time. I had a MSI Gaming Trio 4090, which was a pretty chonky card. It was pretty big, but luckily I managed to get my hands on a 5090 Founders Edition. Now, the Form T1, this will not fit that 4090 that I had. However, it can fit the 5090 Founders Edition. So that being said, we're gonna be building my new ultra power PC within this Form T1. Now, this is the gunmetal version, which is similar color to the 5090, which is why I wanted to get it. It wasn't from the Formed D or Formed website. It's from Ncase. If you didn't know, I guess there were two owners of Formed and they ended up splitting ways. There's a whole bunch of like lore and drama when it comes to that. I don't care. I just like the way the case looks. I'm not the most perfectionist in terms of like the gaps between all the panels and stuff. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to be underneath a microscope. It'll be on my desk for the most part. So if there's a slight panel gap in one of the areas, it won't kill me. However, I do believe that this is still very, very good quality. Right now in my Ncase M2, I do have my 5090 and the Ryzen 9 9950X3D. I have run several benchmarks, testing my GPU, my CPU, the thermals. I have had nothing but great results. I don't know if I got lucky with the processor that I got, the GPU that I got, but in terms of the stress tests that I've done, my CPU has not gone over 86, I believe was the highest, 86 degrees Celsius. And my GPU has not gotten over 60, which is insane. First of all, for a 5090 in that small of a case, insane. 60 degrees Celsius is great. When gaming 4K for hours and hours, I haven't seen it go above 55. Only within stress tests have I seen it go up to 60. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and do this build. I'll probably do a couple check-ins here and there. Obviously, I haven't recorded a video like this, so this is all new to me. I'm actually using my iPhone to record this, so this is kind of weird. I'm used to just using OBS, so cut me some slack. If the video is absolute crap, you won't see this. If I can somehow manage to pull a video out of this, don't judge me.
Yep, the video was so crap, but hope you enjoy.
But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start building. I will see you guys, I guess, when I do my first check-in.
Real quick, I know this camera position really isn't the best to show exactly what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, but I figured I would go ahead and just do a quick voiceover over the segment. Building in the T1 for this first day was kind of annoying. It's kind of what happens when you build in such a small case. I like to jump the gun, I get really excited, and I try to put everything together as fast as I can without really thinking it through that well. It's not a good idea. If you do plan on building in this case, take your time, read the instructions, go step by step, follow a guide if you can. I wish I could make a guide. Potentially one day, you know, if I could get my hands on another T1, I would love to do an actual breakdown guide step by step for how to build it. I don't really talk about it while I'm building it, so I ended up just fast forwarding this entire clip. What you're about to see is a jump cut here to the next day, and you'll kind of understand where I am and where I got to that first day. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, we're on day 2 right now. So last night we got pretty far until I realized that with the 5090, you're gonna need to offset the riser cable for better airflow. Thankfully, I already had a kit full of M3 standoffs, I believe. So I had all the pieces that I needed. I just had to take apart everything and start fresh. So this is where we're at right now. So I don't know what you guys can see. Hopefully you can see it well. But right now, this is where we're at. We have the cooler up here. I need to put a slim fan on, but I forgot that I need smaller screws for the radiator. So we have to go pick that up right now. Other than that, the cables that came with the power supply are okay. I do think with some custom cables, it would make it a heck of a lot easier. I had to pretty much just jumble them up, zip tie one by one, and sort of shove it down here. That makes enough room for the radiator hoses to get through. I also did find out that it was much easier to put the radiator hose, or I guess the cooling block on first, and then put the motherboard 24-pin cable over it. Hoses for the radiator kind of stick out this way, like towards the camera, and it kind of makes it difficult to close the case. I don't know if zip tying these hoses was a good idea, but I did see Chris Russell, I believe that's how you say his name, on YouTube do this on his build with the Atmos. So shout out to him. His videos helped me a crap ton alongside Optimum Tech, AGA. All their videos were great. Specifically, Chris Russell, the zip ties on the tubing did make it a little bit easier. So shout out to him for that. But right now, pretty much all we have left is to get the, what is this? The Noctua A12 15mm fan to put on top of the motherboard. So I just got notified that the radiator screws that fit that were just delivered. However, they weren't delivered at my address, they were delivered at my parents. Thanks, Amazon. Let's go ahead and go pick that up and then try to see if we can get this finished. Hopefully everything will be good. The only thing that has not been delivered and won't be delivered until tomorrow would be the fan guards, or fan guard for the bigger fan that's on top of the power supply. Hopefully no cables get in the way. Looking at it right now and trying to press it down, I don't think it will, but I guess we'll find out once we are finished. So let's go ahead and let's go pick up those screws. Just had an elderly lady wave at me telling me I'm going too fast. I'm literally going 10 miles an hour right now. Okay, so, dude, I look so washed out. Ew, hold on. So, we got the package. Don't know if these are the right screws, but I'm really hoping that they are. I don't want to open it right now because I am driving and I don't want to risk anything. But I guess I'll talk to you guys once I get back. It is so hot in here. I need to turn the AC on. See you soon. All right, so we're back. So we got the screws here. Let's go ahead and see if these screws actually fit. These look good. By the looks of it, I think it does fit. We are making progress, ladies and gentlemen. So building these types of cases, it's a little difficult to see from this angle, but I had the CPU cable running from behind and underneath from the riser standoff like bracket, but I think that would get in the way of me actually putting it into the case. And yeah, and that just looks perfect. Okay, sweet. So we are on the right track. What I haven't done yet is I haven't put thermal paste on, and I'm using Duronaut by Thermal Grizzly. I'm also using their AM5 bracket on top of the CPU. I did remove the stock one from the motherboard and put that one on. Not really for cooling purposes. However, I did learn about doing that when I had my Intel chip. That Intel chip got so hot. Apparently using the thermal bracket made the cooling better. In my opinion, I think it really did. I also undervolted the Intel. That's a whole different story. It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and see what we can do.
Okay, this part was really annoying. If you're doing this, please take your time and don't tighten anything until you know you are good. Okay, cool.
Gotta figure out how to do that. I don't think that's how it goes on. I gotta look that up. Okay, I think we got it. Had a little bit of issues with this one bracket, but I managed to figure it out. I will be swapping the stock Cooler Master fan out for another Noctua, just the 25mm version of the 15 that I have here. That should be coming in, I believe, this weekend. So this part here is the RGB connector for the Cooler Master fan that I plan on replacing. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I think I'm just gonna route it around and leave it hanging for now because I don't plan on using it. I mean, the case is just, it's beautiful, it's compact. I mean, sub 10 liter case is kind of crazy. Nothing is touching the fans that I can see. Yep, both fans look like they aren't touched, so I don't even, and these are stock cables. I'm not even using a fan guard, so pretty good. So we're getting to the final part where I apply thermal paste, put the CPU cooler back on the CPU, and then try to boot it. Did I put a lot of thermal paste on? Yes. Is there a reason behind it? Yes. Can you ever have too much? Not really. So can you put a lot on? Yes. Will it affect your system? If it affects it, it'll be positive, not negative. So do with that information as you wish. When it comes to thermal paste, I was the guy that only ever did like a piece-sized amount. However, once I started using the Intel CPU and experienced how hot that thing got. I said screw that. I put a lot of thermal paste on it, never had a problem. If anything, it only ever benefited the system. Now for the CPU cooler, you don't ever really want to do too much. You're gonna do like a spin and a half every corner, diagonally rotating pretty much until you feel resistance. So yep, I am feeling resistance now, so I'm done. Am I concerned about how this is gonna come out? Absolutely. Is there a massive mess in here right now? Absolutely. Do I have faith? Eh, barely. Okay. Putting the finger screw in for the bottom right now. And then once that's done, we can try to boot it and see what happens. This will be the first test. I just plugged it in. Okay. Now the question is, will it display? Because I know I had a PCI Gen 5 cable. Oh, no keyboard detected. Okay, we're doing some progress. This is great. This is great. We're making progress. Everything looks like it's working fine. The only thing that I really want to make sure works properly is the, I really want to make sure I set it to PCI Gen 4 instead of Gen 5. So how do I, it was set to auto in the BIOS, so I think I'm going to leave it on auto. I don't want to mess anything up. Looks great. Everything looks good so far. You guys can't even hear it. It's so quiet. I do want to run a bench test real quick on the CPU just to see approximately where we're at. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video that on the Ncase M2, I did have it set to, or I did benchmark it to maximum of 86 degrees Celsius on the CPU. Obviously with this new configuration it might be a little different, but I guess we'll see. So upon boot, you can hear a little bit of the pump noise, and then it's just quiet, like totally silent. I don't want to jinx it, but so far I'm really happy. Very, very happy. Okay, yeah, I think I do have to change it to Gen 4. Okay, I just changed it to Gen 4 mode. Let's see if it can detect. One of the things that I do use in my setup, which I might do a video about, is the Stream Deck Plus XLR. I'm a really, really big fan of it. The best part about it to me is I can adjust all my audio on it, which is fantastic, amazing. And on top of that, I can also use just the regular Stream Deck stuff. So for example, I have my CPU and GPU temp displaying on one of the buttons. If you press it, it just opens the task manager, nothing crazy, but you can adjust it to do so many different things. It just booted up for the first time after changing it to Gen 4, and it came to a blue screen, told me to restart my PC. It was advanced startup. Now we're in Windows. I mean, so far, like, everything is going great, like genuinely great. Yep, everything's booting up fine. So now that it's running, what I do want to do, so right now I'm monitoring my temperature, and ignore it, it is pushed a little bit to the side, but you can see my CPU temp and my GPU temp. Right now we are obviously idling. I do have Wallpaper Engine running. I don't know if that's gonna make too big of a difference, but GPU is at 31 degrees, CPU is at 55 roughly, 55 to 60. So far so good. Let me open Cinebench. So we'll do a multi-core test. Fans are kicking on, they're going. It's not going above 82. On the multi-core test for the CPU, I got a score of 44,000, a little bit below 43,800, which is great. It didn't go above 83 degrees Celsius, which is the max. It's fantastic. I'm gonna start a single core test real quick. I'll get back to you guys once it's finished doing the single core test. I'll let you know what the temps are and what score we get. So yeah, I'll see you then. So the single core test just finished. It didn't go above 57 degrees Celsius, which is pretty normal, I think, for the processor. Multi-core is a little different. That's where it gets kind of hot. But the score was 2,252 to be exact. Not bad. It was pretty fast. Yeah, so far, very, very happy with it. It's stupid quiet. Like in the Ncase M2, it was very quiet, but in this case, it's also ridiculously quiet. And I thought the Ncase was small. This Form T1 is genuinely the smallest case I think I can fit all this stuff in. So very, very happy with it. Obviously, I'm gonna do some more testing and some more optimizations of everything, but as of right now, I think we're good. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish wrapping up the cable management for the fan wires, and then put the side panels on and call it a day. But yeah, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed.
Okay, before I go ahead and close out the video, I did want to say thank you guys for watching. Um, I did also post my build and some stuff about it in the formed subreddit. This is the title of it. Ryzen 9 9950X3D plus 5090 Founders Edition in the Form T1. I have a couple pictures comparing the M2 versus the new Form D case. Here's the next to a can of soda. And then just have some random pictures of the progress that I was making. Um, it's pretty detailed. I go somewhat in depth with it. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on this video, but honestly, I didn't know what else to do as I'm still trying to figure out how all this stuff works and how to properly benchmark everything. And I have people asking me to do it a certain way. So I'm going to go through and do these one by one. I was planning on adding all of that stuff within this video here, but it's just a little long. And now that I'm looking back on it, a lot of it is just me yapping just because I didn't have anybody to really talk to about this stuff. And it's something that I'm really excited about. So I just kept wanting to talk and talk and talk. So far, it's been about a day and a half of me fully being able to use it. I've been playing stuff in 4K consistently and I haven't had a single problem. I do want to run some more benchmarks. If you guys have any recommendations for what benchmarks I should do, please leave me a comment down below so I can, and I will post clips of it or maybe even edit this Reddit post that I have. Thank you to all the people who found this Reddit post and gave me all the upvotes and everybody that commented. I also did have someone reach out to me, um, SMX Hines. Big shout out to you. He actually ended up doing this in his Fractal Terra with the 5090 where he flipped it. So it's instead of blowing hot air into the motherboard, it's blowing air out of the case, which I think would be very, very good for the T1. I know you can buy the travel kit for the 5090 or for the 50 series cards for the T1. However, I don't know when or if that's going to come in stock. So kind of worried about it. However, he has a little piece that he makes here that he says he would like to ship to me. He says here he would like to ship it to me for free and I can give him feedback and we can kind of work on something together to get it to work for the T1. Uh, Big shout out to him. Really appreciate it. I look forward to it. I think that's a great idea considering I don't think I can get my hands on the travel kit for the T1. So if I do this, I will make an update to the Reddit post here as well as I make an update video going over the thermals and the benchmarks. But yeah, you guys have any tips, suggestions, or anything, leave them down below. I appreciate every single one of you that watched. And yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.